Alright, so at the top of the page it just talks about some replacement notation. I just want to take you to the middle where it has that little box. Okay, not too high. There we go. Okay, so if we look at the form y equals a times f of b x, we looked at last class the stretch factor of a and the stretch factor of b. A being your vertical stretch, b is your horizontal. Okay, and we just summarized this on the homework quiz, but summarize it again. If a is positive, we have a vertical stretch. If a is negative, we still have a vertical stretch, but there's also a reflection in the x-axis. Okay, if b is positive, we have a horizontal stretch, and we have to memorize that the horizontal stretch will always be the reciprocal, 1 over b. And then if we have b is negative, it's both a horizontal stretch of 1 over the absolute value of b, but also a reflection in the y-axis. Okay, so with the b stretch factor, please just try and remember that it's a reciprocal. And when in doubt, graph it, and you'll see if it's going to be shrinking. So the x values are getting smaller, or it's getting bigger. Okay, so if they're expanding, then that means you're multiplying by a factor that's a whole number. If it's compressing, you're multiplying by a factor that's between 0 and 1. Okay, and if it's between 0 and 1, you'll know that it was the reciprocal of whatever b was. Okay, so let's just put this to practice. We have an equation, y equals x squared. We have to write the equation of the image after a horizontal stretch about the y-axis by a factor of 3/4. Just make that a little bit bigger for you guys. There we go. Okay, so horizontal stretch, which factor is it going to affect? The a parameter or the b parameter? The b parameter, so it's going to be inside the function. Okay, so it's going to be replacing x with something. Okay, horizontal means it's moving the x. So if it's stretching by a factor of 3/4 in our equation, we have to take the reciprocal. So it's going to be 4 over 3 x all squared. Our x is being replaced with 4 over 3x. Then we just have to expand. So 4 squared is 16. 3 squared is 9, so we get 16 over 9, and then x squared. Can you see from there? Okay, next up we have y equals the square root of x minus 3. We have to figure out the image equation after there's a horizontal stretch by a factor of 4 about the y-axis, and also a vertical stretch by a factor of 2 about the x-axis. Okay, so we're going to be using our parameter a and b here. Let's start with a vertical stretch because we know that's going to be outside of the function. Okay, a vertical stretch by a factor of 2 means that we're going to multiply this entire function by 2. Okay, what's going to happen to x? Well, it's going to be replaced by the stretch factor, but the reciprocal stretch factor. Okay, so they're saying horizontal stretch by a factor of 4, which means x is going to be replaced with 1/4 of x, and then we subtract 3. This can be cleaned up as well. So if we distribute the 2 into each term, we get 2 times the square root of 1/4 x minus 6. Hi, Abby.
Is this a bad time? Because I need to pull Jane out of class for an experiment in bio.
Just one sec.